It's a twin stick shooter, and you're supposed to be able to just do the twin stick action, right? You move with one stick and then you turn with the other stick. But with this mech in particular, for some reason, I don't know why, but the right stick is backwards. It's fucking bad. Like, this whole time I'm trying to play the game, I'm trying to get to where I can tell you that I'm fucking sitting here, like, shooting these stuff backwards. So I'm going to go ahead and select Tesla coil, because that sounds cool. And so now you can see physically, if you look closely at my mech, you can see that the upgrade physically is represented on the mech itself, and I think that's really cool. I like that a lot. So I want to kill them, I want to pick up what they drop, but at the same time, I don't want to be walking myself into a corner, you know, blocking myself into an area where I can't make an escape, just like I did just now. Look at that, I just let them close in around me. Oh, I'm getting peed up. I had no clue I was taking damage. Where have I been taking damage from? Well, that's good, because, you know, I'm ready to quit playing the game anyway.
I can't wait to try out
Project Lazarus. Goddamn. Fucking calm down, donkey. Shut up, Hodgins. That was my donkey making noise out there for you folks. I can't wait to try out Project Lazarus. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Protodead, and I'm going to be playing a little bit of Project Lazarus today on another Let's Try Out video. So hey, you know the drill. Play about 30 minutes or so of the game. We try to figure out whether it's worth it or not. This game's on Steam. From what I understand, this game is very much in the same vein of a video game, the reverse bullet hell, like Vampire Survivors. So I've covered Vampire Survivors before. It's a really excellent game, really fun. Graphic fidelity is super low, but you know, hey, graphics aren't everything. The gameplay is super fun. But this game apparently has maybe a little bit more graphic fidelity, but does that mean it's better? Maybe not. We're going to find out. So I'm going to click on Armory first, and we're going to go for a couple of upgrades. So basically the premise is you launch down into the world and you play around, and whatever things you suck up during the round, you'll get to permanently upgrade later back here in the screen, and then you go back in and do it again. So it's like you go on a raid, you get stuff, you come back out of raid, you purchase stuff to go back into the raid to do better stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to upgrade my machine gun and maybe purchase a new mech. So you have different, just like in Vampire Survivors, you have different characters to unlock and play as. So I think this is the starting one, the one called Lazarus. And then the Dozer is, I think, I actually also unlocked. And I unlocked Tombstone, and I played that when I was warming up. And it doesn't turn. The twin stick shooter action doesn't work so well with this one. And I don't know if this one spins, but it looks like maybe it does. Like, so I'm just looking to see if I can find one. I'm gonna unlock this one, the Praetorian. So we're gonna go to the desert, and we're gonna see if we can launch down into the desert and make some coinage, some money, some Lazarus dollars, some fucking bug carapaces, I don't know, frog skins, whatever the currency is in this game. Loading time is ridiculous, by the way. This is pretty hokey.
40, 30, 20, 10.
Hey, we're here.
Welcome to the Southern Hemisphere
Yes.
of UB45. Standing before you, a barren sandbox surprisingly has a dense local population, despite its climatic conditions. Our scout drones have identified large deposits of cavarium in the area. Unfortunately, The local monsters have formed a thick Cavarian armor.
Okay, so too much talking. Personally, my flat cannon, it's bullshit, by the way. So we got our first upgrade by collecting the crystals that these bug things drop, and so with I'm using the controller, so PlayStation 4 controller, right trigger, left trigger will let you switch back and forth between the different upgrades. And then you choose where at on your mech do they land, do they build from. So I'm gonna hit auto turret, and then we're gonna choose.
We may need more firepower than initially planned. Good luck, sir.
Yeah, too much talking. I don't know if we need all that. It looks like these bugs we can. Okay, if I'm stepping on them, I'm killing them, but they are hurting me. So you only have so much. You only have so much health. Laser blaster. I'm going to go ahead and hit laser blaster because I don't know what's up with this mech. See, that's wiping them out. Jesus, the upgrades. Movement speed.
Activating temporary perk. Dirty
Yes,
fuel.
it's a temporary perk. Oh, how shitty. So I'm gonna say right now is there's way too many fucking upgrades happening. Like, too often. I can't even talk about the goddamn game without it interrupting me and trying to get me to pick something. So right now, like, this screen pops up way too fucking often for me. Just let me play the goddamn game. So reactor improves the rate of fire. Yeah, that's good. Tesla coil. Cosmic Guardian. I'm gonna hit reactor. So if you look in the middle of the screen, I'm up and down. I'm pressing where I want this thing to build from. I want it to build from my crotch. So there we go. So now I have an icon shadow, like those rice burner cars, whatever they are. That's got the neon upgrade. Dude, I can fucking hardly talk without this thing asking me to do something. Okay, so I'm gonna stop picking stuff up, and I'm just gonna sit here and shoot them. What I want to say is that it's a twin stick shooter, and you're supposed to be able to just do the twin stick action, right? You move with one stick and then you turn with the other stick. But with this mech in particular, for some reason, I don't know why, but the right stick is backwards. It's fucking bad. Like, this whole time I'm trying to play the game, I'm trying to get to where I can tell you that I'm fucking sitting here, like, shooting these stuff backwards. And I don't know if that's a setting on the game that's screwed up. Okay, we're gonna add an AI core.
Promoted to private.
Great. I'm gonna hit escape real quick and then look at the settings. It didn't seem like it did any help. So this is absolutely confusing and really shit. I want to say that this might be intended because the every mech that I've played so far in this game has had some sort of behavioral, like, goofiness. Like, there is some sort of detriment or, you know, an adverse behavior that you wouldn't necessarily want. Like, if you had your druthers, it wouldn't exist, like the negative thing. So I'm going to go ahead and select Tesla coil because that sounds cool. And so now you can see physically, if you look closely at my mech, you can see that the upgrade physically is represented on the mech itself, and I think that's really cool. I like that a lot. It's too bad that Vampire Survivors doesn't quite have something like this. I mean, that game has a kind of a small icon. It's like it doesn't have a lot of pixels to play with, really. So I'm just going to upgrade a weapon I've already got. I really just want to die and choose a different robot because the steering thing is just absolutely blowing my fucking mind how fucking terrible it is. But I was trying to say earlier, you can stomp on these things. Like, you can just direct your mech to walk on them, and he just crunches them. But they do damage to your shields. And ultimately, when your shields goes down, your health on the red will go down too. So I'm going to hit this siege cannon. And now you can see I got this big-ass, like, rail gun on my back. Like, true mech style. So that's cool. I'm going to abort and just fucking choose a different
Return
robot.
to HQ. Please stand by.
Congratulations, I achieved a new high score. Yeah, I don't know about that. New game. So we're going to unlock this spider bastard. There we go. And we're going to try that again on the grasslands. And see if this behaves the similar way. I may have to throw my controller through my screen, you know, if this doesn't work.
20. 10.
Welcome to the vast green
Yes,
pastures of
so this is way better.
Your mission objective is the elimination of a local monster known as Acer, a Class 3 monster with an immense appetite.
Okay, so we're going to choose that Tesla coil. We're going to throw it on the right. No, orbital striker. Let's see that.
Foreign metal. It's unlikely that Acer
So
will
it sends like a missile down from the space station above the planet here.
Expect low resistance, but keep your guard up. Good luck, sir.
Laser blaster. Okay, so it looks like each one of these types of upgrades, if you look, they're color coded. So the dreadnought size is red, the secondary is purple, the primary is green, and then like our CPU or engine cores or whatever is all going to be in yellow. But I want to put the laser gun on this side. I like the animation on the little bug legs, man. This twin stick shooter reverse bullet hell action, I feel like I'm just now getting actually to the video, you know, because everything else up till now has been fucked up. Oh, and it ricochets off of the rock. That's beautiful. I like that. That is cool. So anyway, the big thing is like you kill the, if you can't tell, they drop little crystals, and then you pick up the tokens, these little crystals, and they rack up, and once you get so many, you get an upgrade. So I'm going to choose Super Magnet that will suck up
temporary perk.
a temporary perk? Oh, I'm an idiot. I didn't realize that was a temporary perk. Okay, so anyway, it'll let me suck those crystals up from a wider range, like a further radius out away from my mech. Which will help me, you know, level up faster. But also, in this game world, as you collect these creatures, these crystals that these creatures drop, that's also your currency outside of the game, you know, to buy more upgrades. So I'm going to throw my flamethrower here. So now I also have a flamethrower that'll be popping out every so often. And all the weapons fire on their own, by the way, if you didn't know that. Just like Vampire Survivors, you don't have to hit a button, you just have to steer the unit. You just have to steer the robot or your character or whatever around the environment to kill or evade all of the creatures that are coming to fuck your shit up. Missile launcher. Yeah, that sounds cool. So my missile launcher automatically started with an upgrade of 3 levels. That's because we bought an upgrade of 3 levels outside of Raid. Okay, so we got a new enemy type here. They look like little armadillos. And I think these things are a little bit more powerful. Maybe they do just a little bit more damage than the little red bugs at the beginning. And as you run around the environment, more and more creatures will appear on screen, and they'll in more of a variance as well. Some of them will be stronger, and some of them will do more damage.
Now deactivated.
So there's a lot of games, there's a game genre out there that came about probably in the 90s, maybe even before that in the 80s, called Bullet Hell. And what was it called back then? I don't know, maybe not Bullet Hell. So, Siege Cannon, we want to do more damage.
You've been promoted to private.
And so a bullet hell, like those games are basically you have a bunch of enemies on screen that are shooting at you, and you have to evade all of the bullets and somehow kill the enemy. Like you're a glass cannon, kind of, sorta. Like you do a little bit of damage, but if you get hit 2 or 3 times, then you'll die. The text game Story of Ray Bibba, I did a let's try out of that game not too awfully long ago, and Gravity Retractor. Yes, so this is not a temporary. This is a permanent. So this is going to help me pick these things up from a further distance out. There we go. Got a better drive belt, whatever that does. So what I was saying is like Story Ray Bibba. It is a bullet hell, but it was a typing game, bullet hell game. So you had to like move your character around and avoid getting shot. And in this game, this genre of games, I don't know what game did it first. I want to say Vampire Survivors, but probably just like, you know, Wolfenstein 3D versus Doom, the first Doom game that came out. Doom is the famous one, but Wolfenstein did it first, and there's probably even a game that did it before Wolfenstein. It's just that these games are the ones that we remember, you know. I had a massive stutter just then. So anyway, Vampire Survivors reverse bullet hell. There's a fuckload of enemies on screen, and any one of them necessarily doesn't do a tremendous amount of damage to you, but you are having to avoid all these enemies, and you are the one destroying, just absolutely decimating the whole play space. And they call this a reverse bullet hell, because you're the one sending the bullets out, and instead of bullets coming at you all over the screen, there's enemies all over the screen that you're wiping out. So, you know, pretty clever. I would like if somebody knows what was the first. I'm gonna upgrade my orbital striker. What was the first reverse bullet hell game out there? Well, let me know in the comments below. Educate me. Maybe I'll check it out one day. That'd be alright. So eventually, these creatures are going to overwhelm me on the screen. And normally it's kind of a slow ramp up, you know. Like, I'm doing pretty good now. I'm leaving crystals all over the place. I'd like to pick them all up, but you just can't because they're everywhere. Like, I know there's a bunch over here because this is kind of where I came from, so I'm coming back down this way to circle back around and pick them all up. But the more crystals you pick up, the more attractive, or even maybe just the time in the raid, how many enemies you've killed, or how many decreases loading time. Yeah. Either how many enemies you've killed, or how many coins you've picked up, or how long you've been in the raid. So we've been in the raid for 5 minutes and 28 seconds, 29 seconds. And see this big creature here? He's probably going to drop something big, so he dropped a green crystal, so that's more currency. That's like the difference between $1 and $5, you know? Or rubles, or, you know, frog skins, or whatever the hell. Rupees, if you're Legend of Zelda. Yeah, so eventually, if we get like 10 minutes in, there'll be so many enemies on screen, I won't be able to shoot them all before they're like invading my space and doing damage to me. And then there'll be little events like this one coming up here. I'm going to go ahead and upgrade my missile launcher to level 4. There'll be events like this right here where I got this circle of enemies that are pushing me and the rest of the enemies into my area, like closing in around me. And I guess it's, you know, puts the pressure on, makes you feel like, you know, the world's closing in around you, you're gonna die sometime soon. But I don't know what it is, but if you do enough, I think it's if you do enough damage, they all fall over like that, like they all disappear. I feel like maybe it's even that they're only closing in around you so far. And then pneumatics improves movement speed, so that's a perk I want.
Private second class.
So it may just be like they get so close to you and then they, you know, they just fall over dead. But I always thought it was how much damage you did to them. So we've done several upgrades, and now my mech looks a little different. You know, like I said, the physical model is changed because of all of my upgrades. And I'm just waiting for these creatures. Here we go. Now we got some humanoid creatures. And I'm just absolutely wrecking shop. Had one do a little bit of damage to me just then. At the beginning of this stage, it kind of sounded like the lady woman was trying to explain to me that that there's a boss character maybe that shows up once you hit like 20 minutes, like if you survive, and you know, if you're able to upgrade your mech and survive that long. Because, you know, depending on how you play the game and what perks it is that you get on the random rolls and how you choose to play those cards, like you could live longer, you know. Just generally speaking, you could live longer and make it further. And if you play your cards wrong, then maybe you'll mess up and your run just, you know, will only be like 7 minutes long, or who knows, you know. So there's some randomity to the game. There's some randomness to the game, but then there's also some skill. You got to know what's possibly coming. Crystal magnets, so that picked up a whole bunch. Vampire Survivors has the same sort of token or icon or ability. Flat cannon. This would be my last weapon upgrade. We'll go ahead and choose it so we can see what that looks like. Probably a shotgun, I imagine. I need to kind of circle back down around where I came from to pick up all those coins, but the magnet thing I think actually just sucked them all up. So I'm just going to continue to go this way. So I want to kill them, I want to pick up what they drop, but at the same time I don't want to be walking myself into a corner, you know, blocking myself into an area where I can't make an escape, just like I did just now. Look at that, I just let them close in around me. And we got this one big creature that's taking a lot of damage. He dropped a red token. I'm going to upgrade my pulse rifle here. So I think the balls got bigger, and maybe I shoot more. Yeah, I shoot like 4 of them now. And they're on a timer, so its cooldown is... it's not in tandem with everything else. What'd it say? There we go. It interrupted what she was saying. I got none of it. I think if the computer voice narrator person lady is going to speak up and say something, then when the game pauses for you to pick a perk, it shouldn't pause what she's saying. She should continue to say it. That way you don't lose it. Because I have no clue what she fucking said because it froze it halfway through. I'm going to upgrade my flamethrower because it seems to be really wiping these guys out. And as you can see, it's gotten pretty heated. I'm going to go for these red ones over here. Pneumatics. Yes, I want to be able to move faster.
You've been promoted to private first class.
Great. Flat cannon. Okay, so this is where the game really starts to shine, is when you get this far in to where there's just a lot of enemies on screen and you feel like you're constantly sucking up these crystals. Eventually the upgrades will kind of slow down because, like a lot of leveling games, you know, it's like if it takes 10 to get from level 1 to level 2, it'll take 20 or 30 to get from level 2 to level 3, and it'll take 60 to get to level 4. You know, like it's exponential. So we don't want to run into these things to where we start taking damage like I just did just then. But we want to kill them and then chase the crystals that they drop. So there's a really neat synergy in this sort of game. So you're like trying to kill them, trying to stay alive, but you got to get close to them to pick up the thing they drop in order for you to get stronger and faster and better. And ultimately, for some reason, the way this game economy works, you spend these upgrade points here and now with the amount that you picked up to get an upgrade on the floor, in the mission in the area. and then you keep all of these currencies to spend outside of raid to upgrade stuff, so that the next time you start you'll be a little faster, or you'll have a different robot to play with. And maybe the new robot, like this one, you know, moves better and then points correctly, like as opposed to being 180 degrees wrong backwards. Yeah. So all of these models, like if you've seen one of these bugs right here, you've seen every one of them. There's no variation of these arachnids or whatever they're called. These nasty, like, little Starship Troopers bugs. So the green ones here that I'm fighting, all of them look identical. They all look exactly the same. It would be kind of cool if there was just a little bit of randomness to it. Like maybe just a little bit of the color palette was a little bit different, and maybe some of them, and there was like a variance in the size by just an ever so slight amount. And maybe speed and damage each one of them could do. Like if it was, instead of like 1 point of damage, instead it was like percentages, you know, like it was greater variability, to make it seem like these things truly were like a horde of ants. You know, like if you put your hand down on an ant pile and the ants cover your hand, they all look identical, but you know that they're all just a little bit different. They're not all exactly the same. But these things are all exactly the same, you know what I'm saying? So it would be cool if they kind of felt like they were individuals. But hey, man, what can you get?
Pilot health.
Oh, I'm getting peed up. I had no clue I was taking damage. Where have I been taking damage from? Well, that's good, because, you know, I'm ready to quit playing the game anyway. And then, you know, of course, your destruction.
It's been an honor to fight alongside you. Farewell, sir.
Destruction looks pretty good for the game, you know, for the kind of game that it really is. So then it gives you a breakdown of how much damage you did and what you got and your rank and how many crystals you picked up and all this other shit. And then you can go back to the screen with your new total at the very top. Project Lazarus. Go to the armory and maybe, like we started with the missile launcher, I think at level 2 once we got that upgrade. So if I buy this one, it's going to start, next time I get it in the world, I'll start with level 3 as my you know, missile launchers. So in this way you can sit here and upgrade a lot of the aspects of the game, so that way you're just a little bit stronger every time you play the game. And I don't know what it takes to unlock other worlds, but just for funnies. So Arctic Glacier is not yet discovered for me, or nor is Outpost or Challenger. So there's a unlockable that unlocks the other things. Like if I click on Desert, there's some sort of milestone you have to achieve. You have to make it 30 minutes, or you have to kill the boss that comes by after 20 minutes, or something like that. You got to figure out what it is. So yeah, let's go ahead and read the words of the developer and see what they have to say about their game, Project Lazarus here. I'll see you on the other side.
As you guys know, a Let's Try Out video is a part Let's Play. There's going to be some commentary in here, a part tutorial. You learn as I play the game, and part first impressions, because a lot of these games I've never played before. And you get to step through all the problems that I stepped through, and hopefully we come out the other side learning a little bit. And kind of a part review, because I try to rehash a little bit of my opinions at the end of the piece. After we read the words of the developer, we can try to make a decision whether they're shoveling us a load of bullshit, or if they're spot on honest, and it seems to make a lot of sense with what they're trying to, the product that they're trying to produce. And if you want to spend your hard-earned money on it, because at the end of the day, I'm trying to give you an honest presentation of the first 30 minutes or so of a video game really is. That way we can make a sound judgment on it. So, let's read the words of the developer.
Project Lazarus. You are the first-party mech pilot of alien planet colonizers. Project Lazarus is a survival game with rogue-lite elements. Deploy and upgrade your mech to the metal. Most of the recent reviews are mixed, and all of the reviews in total are very positive. Just over 1,000 reviews since it released, in June of 2003. This is developed and published by Terapoly, and this is an action roguelite, casual bullet hell, reverse bullet hell, third-person single-player video game. It's currently sitting at $6 on Steam. And they say here, introducing Project Lazarus, an exhilarating reverse bullet hell experience combined with mech survival and roguelite elements. Brace yourself as you take on hordes of alien monsters using your strategic prowess to snowball your mech's arsenal and emerge victorious. Collect valuable items, crystals to level up, allowing you to install and upgrade your mech, ensuring you establish absolute fire superiority. With each mech boasting unique control schemes and weapon installation slots, your choices will determine both your success in your environment and your preferred style of gameplay. Prepare for an adrenaline-fueled adventure as you deploy your mech into the unforgiving terrain of the alien planet, where only the most resilient will survive the treacherous drop. Prepare to engage in Project Lazarus, where a diverse array of mechs awaits your command. Each mech in this thrilling adventure possesses a distinct control scheme, a range of passive abilities, and customizable weapon slot combinations. Select the mech that aligns perfectly with your preferred style of gameplay and ensuring a personalized experience like no other. The power to shape your destiny awaits as you embark on this remarkable journey. So cool. Yeah, right on. Yeah, I think so. I think Vampire Survivors maybe does it a little bit better in a way, but there's something to be appreciated with the graphic fidelity of this game as opposed to the Nintendo, Super Nintendo sort of style Castlevania wannabe 2D sprite Vampire Survivors game. I know I've said Vampire Survivors probably more than Project Lazarus in this video so far, but I mean the comparison. The comparison can't be avoided. It's just what it is, you know. But this is another one of those games here, Project Lazarus. Pretty cool in its own right. I do kind of like the mech thing, the theme, the movement. I do like that. I think that's pretty cool. So this could be pretty fun for people. Good stream game probably, I would imagine. So I agree. I don't know if it's worth $6, but hey, that's just me. Tell me what you think below. Leave a comment if you know anything better about this game. If I got anything wrong, let me know in the comments down below. I'm Protodead. Until the next time, I'll catch you on the flip-flop.
Thanks for making it all the way to the end of the video. And since you're here, why don't you go ahead and leave a like on the video if you liked it. Dislike it if you disliked it. Sound off in the comments below about any other opinions that you might have. I appreciate you stopping by. Subscribe for future content. Share my video with a friend if you can. Helps me out a whole lot. This is Protodead saying I'll see you in the future.